Welcome to In This Season podcast, where we unpack the most empowering conversations, have exclusive and inspirational interviews, and host special events. Join Tammy, some call her Butterfly, and explore life's purpose by learning how to embrace each season of your life with confidence, strength, and purpose. Whether you're blooming in the spring, or shining in the summer, or embracing change in the fall, or gracefully hibernating in the winter, get ready to be inspired. Join us right here on this season of In This Season podcast with your host, The Butterfly. It's time, no matter what season it is.
Good morning, beautiful people. Come on in. Who's in with us? I see somebody is already logged in. So, oh gosh, let me move that. All right, let's see who's in with us. Feeding the ducks. We got Miss Brenda Davis says good morning and great everything, everyone. Auntie Richetta says good morning, Butterfly and nephew and everyone. Are y'all coming in feeding those ducks today? I can't see you. I need to feel you. Let me know if you're feeding the ducks. Pimping wearing you or you wearing the pimping. All right, let's get it going. Thank y'all for jumping in early. We're going to get you in and get you out today. And Brandon will be joining us soon. So we'll just give him a minute as we get ready to move on and welcome the rest of the people in to Daily Motivation for African American Success. We're at day 319. Day 319. How about that, you guys? I was thinking about this morning, what will we do? I have a book in mind that I'm considering. I haven't talked it over with Brandon, but I do have a book in mind that we'll probably start back. Start back. We'll go through January, and I think what we will do is start back up in March. We'll probably skip. Maybe. I don't know. I'm afraid to kind of skip because sometimes, I think we read about that the other day. When you stop, it's more difficult to start back. So I don't know if we'll drop the momentum. I was thinking that just to kind of get a break, take some time and work on some personal things and things like that. But we'll see. Y'all give us some suggestions. Do you want to keep going? Do you want to keep going through February and just start fresh with a new book? Or would you like to take February off and start back in March? So y'all give us a vote on that. And I'm looking for today, how has this journey made life different for you? Miss Brenda gave us hers. Big Mike gave us his yesterday. How are you different? How are you moving, or do you find yourself moving differently in life now? What has it done for you? We'd really like to hear that from you. Big Al Sal is back in with us. Says good morning, and Big Mike says good morning, everyone. So welcome, you guys to Daily Motivations for African American Success. How's it going, Brandon?
Good morning, Mama. I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. Doing good. Still feel like I'm getting over something or going through something, but I do feel a little better today. So
Yeah.
better than yesterday, for sure. So
Good. I had kids up all night.
Mhm.
Yeah, but it's okay.
Something's really it is something going around again. So y'all be careful, wash those hands and be mindful because people are still rubbing noses and coughing and touching doors and not washing hands, and just so be careful. Keep that hand sanitizer with you, wash your hands, and don't go behind anybody without wiping some things off. So, because they ain't doing it.
That's right. It's weird. It's and this one lingers. It looks like it's
Yeah.
lingering around. My son had a tough time. His stomach was hurting last night, throat, and coughing, and all kind of stuff. So, I mean, he must have gotten up 6-7 times, had to sleep with us, and left again. We put him back to bed, and then even this morning when I thought he was in bed, woke up and he was in there on the couch, cuddled up, and like, man, you could have stayed in the bed with us, but had to give him everything from pickle juice to kids Tylenol We tried everything,
Mm.
but he's finally asleep, so
Mm.
we're gonna let him rest.
Yeah,
Poor
they've
kid.
had it for a while. You might need
Yeah, I mean, if they feel good, like they're good, and then the night before
night.
last, Tupac was fine, and then but Kitali was up, just kind of like you know, and then last night she was asleep pretty good, and then but he was up, so it's up. But yesterday was the best day that they've had. They seemed good, high energy, stuff like that. But at night, his stomach was hurting again. Yeah, and that hadn't happened in about 2 or 3 days. So I don't know what's going on with this thing.
Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
but hopefully he'll be good soon. I don't think it's anything major, but it's just an annoyance and a lingering. I'm sure uncomfortable for him uh, to linger around like that. So
Yeah, I can
yeah,
only imagine for a kid. Yeah, so
he's like, why can't we make this better? He's like, why can't you fix this? But it's all good, all good. It'll be. I'm sure it'll be gone in due time. So we're gonna wait on it, keep him fed, keep him hydrated. But for everybody out there, y'all, please make sure you're washing your hands and staying up on your immune system stuff. All right. Trust me, you
mm,
don't want whatever that is in there.
yeah.
I
Miss
haven't
Brenda
caught that.
says her sister has had symptoms for 3 weeks now. So
Yeah,
yeah, there you go. So y'all
yeah.
just be careful out there. Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. Don't take any chances. Yeah.
Hmm.
Brenda, you don't have coffee this morning? But
I didn't get a chance to make
I
it.
don't either. I don't either. I didn't want it though because I've been it hasn't tasted right to me. I think it's me who making it wrong, and so finally I was just like, you know what, I'm just not going to fix it today. So because I've been pouring it out, so I just haven't wanted it. So I just got my water.
I don't blame you. I was just it was still brewing. We pressed the button late because we was up all night. So when it was time to come in, I had to come right in here and after prayer,
Okay.
didn't get time to make none. But I got some water though, so hopefully I'm not coming down because I'm gonna feel a little congestion. But I'm gonna fight that today with some good old sleep. I will sleep, but I am tired from sleeping. So let's get the show.
Let's do it.
Welcome everybody, and thank y'all for letting us be a part of your morning routine. If y'all don't know already, we are the In This Season podcast with your beautiful host over there, my mother, the butterfly, and then me, Brandon. So if y'all are here, then that means you are wanting and ready and excited for daily motivations for African American success. This is the book that we have been reading over the past 300 some odd days. Go get that book if you haven't already. The book is a blue cover with a man right here named Dennis Kimbro. That's the author. Please support this Black author, as he's given us a lot. And even in doing the show, we don't get paid for it. He doesn't get paid for it, except for if you support his book. So as we pull from this is a work of a successful African American. Let's promote that success if we pull from it, right? If we pull resources from this success, we should support that success. So let's make sure we're successful at promoting those and supporting those who support us with things like this. So, daily motivations for African American success will help you focus on the thoughts, attitudes, and deeds that will lead to the achievement of your true goals. And 365 short, powerful motivations, one for each day of the year. Dennis Kimbro, author of the popular Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice, leads us to discover how to use the present moment and our own gifts to transcend labels, cultivate a positive attitude, become wise enough to know when to say yes and when to say no, and to look inward for answers to life's challenges. Each motivation begins with words of wisdom from such distinguished and celebrated African Americans as Malcolm X, Marion Wright Elderman, Whoopi Goldberg, Charlene Hunter Galt, Bill Cosby, Carl Rowan, Mother Hale, Reverend Leon Sullivan, and hundreds of others. This treasure trove of practical inspiration will give you fresh encouragement every day of the year. What it teaches will last you a lifetime. Mm. My wife just brought me in some coffee, so y'all get me one. Come on. Can't
Okay.
miss can't miss this one. One second, y'all give me one moment. Uh,
Brandon is something else. Brandon,
huh? I'm
what are
here.
you
I'm here.
doing?
Huh?
Should I move on?
No, you good. You good. I didn't want y'all to see my PJs. I had my collar shirt on. Couldn't let y'all see the PJs. But let's get on to it. Mama. Any other announcements before we jump into it?
No, not at all.
I got my coffee now though. My day is made. So today is December the 15th, and our title for this morning is Again I Rise. Again I Rise. And our quote comes from Eric V. Kopage, the writer, who says, I'd continue to teach my children what I'd been taught, that they needn't see a black become president or win the Indy 500 on television before they could do it in real life. I'd continue to teach my children what I had been taught, that they needn't see a black become president or win the Indy 500 on television before they could do it in real life. I don't know. You get that one?
Not really.
Okay, we'll see. We're gonna read this. Researchers have observed a predictable and strange habit of fleas while training the tiny insect. When fleas are first placed in a jar, they try to jump out. When the lid is placed on the jar, the fleas continue to jump, and they repeatedly hit their heads on the lid. But even fleas aren't crazy. As they continue to beat their brains out, they finally catch on and no longer jump high enough to hit the lid of the jar. The scientists can then remove the lid with no fear of the fleas leaping out of the jar. Why? Because they have conditioned themselves to only jump just so high. That's all they can do. Are you like a flea? Have you been conditioned to only jump so high? Achievers always rise to the top, especially in tough times. They're like beans in a can of peas. When you place peas and beans in a can and vigorously shake them up, the peas always settle at the bottom while the beans rise to the top. So it is with achievers. They can never be held down, even when shaken up. If you truly have leadership abilities and are determined to hit your mark, you'll always rise to the top. And our affirmation for the day says, I may have been conditioned to only jump so high, but I refuse to be held down any longer. Again, I may have been conditioned to only jump so high, but I refuse to be held down any longer. Again, I rise. Over to you, Mom.
Well, I'm still trying to figure out the quote. With the exception of, I don't know, that we see so much on TV and it's not real life. It just kind of puts us in a phase of thinking that it is, and that is so true. Like, we'll see things on TV. So I'm not sure. I'd continue to teach my children what I had been taught, that they needn't see a black become president or win the Indy 500 on television before they could do it in real life.
I see it. I get it.
You get it?
I remember, I think back then they were showing people every now and then on television being represented as playing the role of a president, as a black president. I think I remember, like, I don't know who it was, Morgan Freeman, I think, played president. A couple other black people played president. And there might be people saying that, oh, it's good to see that, maybe. Because I remember being a young kid and being like, oh, a black man is playing the president. Like, that was different. And looking back now, I'm like, what kind of statement was that? Like, why was I surprised? But then you consider the context and the history, and then the story that only jumping so high, right? And so looking at that, looking in retrospect now, it's like, of course, there's, and I expect there to be another one and another one and another one.
But not in real life. But don't see it in real life until as of late. Yeah.
Right. So now that we've seen it, I expect to see more black presidents. But prior to that, it was just something we saw on TV and we couldn't really, I don't know, but it didn't seem like it could really be imagined, or it didn't really seem like a reality. Um, and it was so novel to see it on television, to be depicted on television prior to the election of Barack Obama. So um, I guess what that quote was saying is that they don't need to see it on television, because this is 1992. This is prior.
Right.
This is 20 plus years, 26 years before, or yeah, something like that. I don't know, 16 years before. No, 20 years. Good, 26 years before President Barack Obama. So uh, I think people felt like they had to see it first, right? But I don't know. I was what, 4 years old at that time. So you tell me, how was it back then, Mom? Let's say 92. What's that? George Bush Senior. What was it going into Clinton? What was it like uh, for you as an adult? What was the prospect of having a black president? Or I'm sure you don't watch NASCAR or anything, but if you do, or of a black person winning the Indy 500, what was your
For me,
thought?
I'm going to be honest. For me, I never got caught up in, or never thought that it couldn't happen, but I didn't get caught up that it's on TV either. I
Mm,
look at TV as just TV, it's entertainment, and so
mm-hmm,
it didn't make me feel like, oh, they got one on TV, but not in real life. Because again, it's entertainment. It's there to entertain you, and there's just not a lot that truly entertains me. I don't know. I look at a show, it's a show. So it wasn't, this is it's just, I mean, I get it, but for me, it wasn't something that I focused on,
mm-hmm,
even back then. That, oh, we got a black man playing the president, right? Because again, they're going to put on TV what they know will get, to entertain us and to get us caught up,
right.
right? So that's why I don't do a lot of TV now. I just don't, because I have better things that could entertain my goals, right? What I'm doing. And I just feel like it gets you caught up. I remember when I used to watch Lifetime, you couldn't pay me to watch Lifetime now. Brandon, you remember that. I would sit
Channel 29.
and watch it like crazy, crazy. And it keeps you caught up.
Yes.
It does. It keeps you in this fantasy world. So I get that part, but I think some of the most important parts is this: are you like a flea? Are you like a flea? Have you been conditioned to jump only so high? Those are the real questions here. Have you been conditioned, right? And also, I think this is about being a leader in your life. I like here where it asks about, or speaks about, they can never be held, talking about leaders or achievers. They can never be held down, even when shaken up. If you truly have leadership abilities, right? Leadership abilities, and are determined to hit your mark, you'll always rise to the top. So, do you have leadership abilities, and what does that look like? Leadership abilities are developed through a combination of factors, including experience, learning, taking on challenging assignments. How do you take on challenging situations, assignments in your life? They seek feedback. Do you seek feedback, or are you offended when someone tries to give you feedback in a positive manner, right? Practicing effective communication. Boy, there's one. Building relationships with others. Building, not tearing them down, not always being offended, right?
Mm-hmm,
And actively developing personal traits like integrity, empathy, and adaptability. Essentially, leaders are made through continuous growth. There's another word, continuous growth. The self education of self, right? And conscious effort. So I'll go back and read that one. Essentially, leaders are made through continuous growth and conscious effort rather than solely being born with these skills. So it's something you have to work at to be a leader in your life, to have those leadership abilities in your life. I believe Brandon mentioned a while back on a show that you have to treat your life like a business, right? Run it like a business. Have a plan, have goals, have things set in place that will activate those goals and those plans, right? So I believe more importantly, those questions, those two questions, are you like a flea? Right? Are you like a flea? Have you been conditioned? Have you allowed life and perhaps what you've been taught, right? To be conditioned to only jump so high, right? Regardless of what you've been taught and how you've been taught and your perception or your perspective of life. And then I'll turn it over to you, Brandon, after this one. How to practice self leadership. Take responsibility. That's number one. Take responsibility to lead your life. The first thing is to lead yourself. To lead yourself. Think and feel effectively. Find your purpose. How often have we talked about purpose? Know yourself. Believe in yourself. Be self efficient. Be the best version of yourself. And then prioritize. And there's more. And I'll put these out there so you guys can read them yourself, because there's a lot, there's a lot to this and
Yeah.
helpful information. So over to you, Brandon.
Thank you, Mama. I don't know how much I have to add to that. This is short, sweet, but also very deep, right? Seeing what happens with those fleas that at first are in the jar and are trying to jump out. This kind of reminds me of the Harriet Tubmans, the Frederick Douglasses, right? This reminds me of the Nat Turners, 1831. And I wonder, are we those fleas now, right? Are we those fleas that only jump so high? Do any of us plan to be a billionaire? Does any of us plan to raise the next president? Does any of us have those types of dreams that think, to build institutions, a black hospital, right? A new HBCU or some type of institution that can support our community, a black bank, as Dr. King said. Also, he mentioned that we need black insurance companies, right? Industries to support and provide for generational wealth creation for our people, for or academics, right? Is there something that you can add to academia, right? What is your purpose, and what is the apex, the pinnacle of achievement in that lane? And I think in for us, I've seen a lot of comments here talking about TV and how TV. Oh, excuse me, I got my parrot back there. But that TV is used as a tool, right? TV can be something that really is very impressionable, specifically on children and younger folk. But even for older folk, I don't know if y'all know this story, but when Gilligan's Island came out, it was one of the first things that were publicly televised on in color regularly, right? Gilligan's Island. And do you know that there were people in certain parts of America that were calling the police officers after watching the first couple shows of Gilligan's Island? Do you know why, Mom?
Did they think it was real?
They thought the folks was stuck on the island. They said, "Why ain't y'all? There's this. We see these people out here. They're just stuck in the island, and ain't nobody going to get them. Are y'all doing anything about it?" So the gullibility, and of people in general, and the malleableness amongst us, like we're very malleable minds. So our perception really is our reality. So, like my uncle Mike said, uh, he said the revolutions will not be televised. There are things that the undergird of society, the change agents of society, uh, are often not recognized until they're already so big and so accepted. But oftentimes in the beginning, they're not. And TV in general can be used as a tool, in my opinion, as both like any tool. It can be used to help someone, it can be used to hurt someone, just like a gun. It can be used to hunt or protect you, and it can also be used to murder and to oppress and to bully, right? To threaten. So how do you use this tool? What if you do have a TV? What do you watch, right? Are you watching things that are just based in drama and entertainment, or are there things that you can watch that will help you? Are there things like this? Do you use them for things for entertainment or for knowledge? You can build a lot of knowledge just by researching on YouTube. They call it YouTube University, right?
Hmm.
My dad says YouTube University. You can learn just about anything on YouTube. But what do you go to it for, right? How high do you jump? Do you jump into the entertainment bucket, the lowest bucket, right? The leisure bucket? Or do you jump to the knowledge bucket? Do you jump to the research bucket? Do you jump to the achievers? Are you using entertainment or anything in general to elevate yourself or to learn about people who have already broken so many barriers and the characteristics and the things that they did in order to be such distinguished people, specifically African Americans? Because there's something distinct and different about us. When we see another one of us do it, it becomes real. That is just the way we have been for so long. And I see a very similar thing to our African brothers and sisters in West Africa, where if they see someone who looks like them that confirms or verifies or achieves something, they now believe that it is not only cool for them, but it's possible now for themselves. And I think in a degree we can supersede that mentality, but also I think just like any other tool or capacity, it can go both ways. So we can use that type of group think mentality, that type of, for lack of a better term, monkey see, monkey do. Like we're able to see each other. Because I mean, my wife has said this before. She said that anyone else can tell me, for example, or some of my brothers, they can say, "Oh, this is a good dish. You should go try this sushi. You should go try this restaurant or this product, right?" And black folk, we gonna be like, oh, okay, cool. That sounds nice. That's great. I'm sure that tastes really good, right? But as soon as one of us says, "Hey, man, you got to try this new restaurant down the street. We went there the other day, and it was great. Good service, good food. Everything." Like, "Oh yeah, for real? Okay, I'm gonna go there tomorrow." It all of a sudden becomes more like official because our experience, the black experience, to us is so tailored, is so particular, is very nuanced, and comes with all types of historical references, innuendos, and uh, just yeah, just references that we go back to that all lead into one common story. So we feel like if I see one of us do it, then that means it would be good for me, or it's a possibility for me because that person has the same story, context, and experience in general as I do. So do y'all have that same experience where if an Asian brother came up and said, "Hey man, you gotta go try that new chicken spot," would you take it as seriously as if a brother came up or a family member came up and was like, "Listen," especially a family member, because they know what grandma chicken tastes like. You know that they have similar a palate as you, right? Similar tastes, right? I'm just gonna keep it 100. I would consider that more more not valuable, more weighty, more has more weight to it because I'm like, yeah, they know what good fried chicken tastes like. Now, but I will tell you this: one of my favorite fried chicken spots is the Asian spot. So, they've been frying chicken for a long time too. But there's just something about seeing another brother do it that is inspirational. It's something about For example, a man talking to a young man, that hits different than a woman talking to a young man about how to be a man. Do you guys you understand where I'm coming from, Mom?
I do. I do.
Right. So it I do think this is a nuanced thing, and I do understand where that quote comes from, especially in light of when this book was published in 1992. So, are we a predictable and strange? Do we have predictable and strange habits? As the first line of this story says, researchers have observed a predictable and strange habit of fleas while training the tiny insects. Listen to the way that it phrases that. Researchers. So who are the researchers to us? If we are being compared to the fleas, right? In this situation, who are the researchers? Are we predictable and strange in our habits? And who is sitting there training us and considering us tiny insects, right? Because again, like I said a couple of days ago, what institutions have we built? Are we big, right? 12, 13% of the population, but we have over $1 trillion something worth of spending, but the least amount of institutions to support our community. Many other communities support our community in critical ways, whereas we, as a large group, support each other in these kind of smaller ways. Like we have our small businesses, we have our a school here, a private school built by a prominent African American here and there. But do we have institutions, banking, insurance, things that really uphold an economy, right? So that we can progress and be independent in and of ourselves without looking for any type of assistance from a government that continues to tax, continues to vax, and continues to send our money elsewhere when we want to get that money back, right? So how high are we shooting, guys? How high are we jumping? How high are we jumping? All right, that's all I got.
So, Brent, I just have a few things and we can get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go back to the restaurant because you made me think about something. And to me, this will be an example of how nothing is nothing is always like it seems to be, right? Or could be. So I remember being told about this restaurant by another by a black woman, and she said it was so good and so good and so good. And I went, and it wasn't so good, right? It wasn't so good. Now, a couple of things could have played into that. Different cook. Matter of fact, I had a waitress tell us different cooks do different things because the food I was somewhere and the food just didn't taste the same. Literally, like this is what the waitress said. Well, different cooks do different things. Why? You're in the restaurant. You should have a recipe for everything. But this is what a waitress said. And so you could show up on a day, just a place that you like, right? Have you shown up on a day and it's just not what you are used to it being, right? So to me, that's just going back. What do we do in those situations? Now, that's a restaurant. But as it relates to life, what do we do when things are not what we expected them to be? Do we keep reaching? Do we keep jumping, thinking we can, if we're in this jar, right? If the situation or the circumstances puts us in a jar, makes us feel like we're in a jar, do we try to figure out, okay, how do I get out of this jar, this situation, right? Or it makes me think about the making of a slave, how it talks about what they've planted in the minds of Black folks, right? According to them, they don't have to do anything now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because we will do it to ourselves. We put the limits on ourselves, right? We only going to jump so high. And if we open the business, how are we going to run the business? Is it with these leadership qualities that I spoke about? Is it with that or is it not? Because how often, let's just make it real here. How often do we as Black folks like, man, I try to go support, but then the quality of business that I get. But why don't we go in there and say, look, bro, look, sis,
Mm-hmm.
trying to support here, right? How can we help you help you? We're not that effective communication. And if we did, would they accept the feedback? Even if it's feedback to say, we want to help, so we'll come here more. We're so wrapped up in ego, right? Like, you go. I don't want to hear that because I'm in my ego. This is me. What are you talking about? Right? So
Mm-hmm.
there's, again, our rise. Do you? And how far up? How far are you rising? Because if you've allowed yourself to go low, 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 you got to get up and go, go, go. You got to press toward the mark a little bit more often, stronger, consistent. You don't have time to stop. And no shade, y'all. I'm going to say this and Brandon going to get out of here. No shade against Jamie Foxx. But if as many of you guys who have called me about Jamie Foxx, call me and let's have a conversation about God and our lives. I had people reach out to me about Jamie Foxx who often say, I don't have time to do this. I don't have time to do that. I just don't. But you had time. You had an hour plus, right? And let me take it a bit further. There's a Jamie Foxx in your family who's had a stroke, who's had a heart attack, who's sick now, right? Their life doesn't have to be on TV for you to go talk to them, sit down, ask them how they're doing. Do they need a dinner or a card? Or just call them, right? We get so caught up in entertainment. And I get it. And I'm glad the brother is okay. But there's a brother and a sister that you know, right in your family, a friend, if it's not in your family, that you know is going through sickness and disease. And that's hard to go through, right? People go in the hospital and y'all won't even, I ain't got time to go out there. You made time to sit down and watch Jamie. And truth be told, y'all don't know the brother. Y'all don't know, right?
Mm-hmm.
So your mind's playing, you're letting your mind play tricks on you, right? We are. So still you rise, right?
That's right.
Really? Still you rise. All right, Brandon, let's get out of here.
All right, y'all. We didn't touch too much on this affirmation, but we will get to it. Just to remind us before we go, our title today on this December the 15th, and thank you, Mother, for all those for all the stuff that you shared. I had some people hit me up about that too, and just hit me up on Instagram and stuff saying, "Hey, man, check this out," and I started to notice just how much we share mess, and I'm really disappointed in my friends, man. I mean, I got some my acquaintances rather. I have my friends, my like real friends, don't hit me up about this. They don't hit me up about stuff like this, and so there's a reason why I call them my real friends. But I have a lot of acquaintances that will share, random, foolish, funny, sometimes lighthearted, sometimes dramatic things, but um, those aren't the people I consider close to me. Those are the people that, shuck and jive with, but I have to limit my exposure to those people very much because I got kids, I got a family, I got places to go, things to do. And so, and then when it's funny because people will come back and ask you for help and handouts and money or whatever it is, and I'm like, bro, you act like we didn't have the same chances. Like we didn't have the same 24 hours in a day. And you got money for weed. You got money for
Nike and shit like
yeah, for this
that
BS. You going out to
every day.
every day, and then now that you're in a bad position, you want to come get mine. No, brother, I worked for this. We had the same chances. You know, get yourself up, bro. Like I'll be here if you straight up fall, but nah, man, go out there and get it. And then these are the same people. not loyal to themselves, that ain't gonna be loyal to you, right? So when it's time to pay back, you got to call them, right? So it's like,
They'll go buy another pair of Nikes before they
yeah,
pay.
bro. And here's the thing, like I'm just not with
But
that no more.
no, I'm
Like
just trying
I'm
to
gonna
keep
pull
it
up,
real.
I'll pull up to your door and be like, hey, bro, like either you gonna give my money or we gonna jack, and that's just how it is, you know. And there's nobody in that situation with me right now, but I'm just at that point to where like if you take something from me or if you borrow something from me, number one, we're writing a contract. Number two, if you don't pay me back, I'm coming to get it one way or another, right? And it's just these are just Memphis things. It's just how we get down right here because we don't have uh I don't have time to waste on people and especially resources because every minute I'm not with my family is a minute that I could have been with my family, right? And so if you're not giving a return on that time, every dollar that I don't spend on my family is 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 an opportunity lost for my children or for my wife or for us to have whatever experience that we want and that we've earned. Um, so just know that I'm coming for it in any kind of way. So stop playing with people, y'all. Stop playing with people. Stop playing with yourselves. Uh, Stop all this mental masturbation. You know what I mean? Of just playing
Mhm.
with excitement and drama and all this other stuff. You're being stupid. You're being dumb, and it's time to get your stuff together. Right? It's time because we got you guys see where the world is going. You see how things are progressing, and it's not going in the right direction. Right? So don't chase these devils. These devils lead nowhere but to hell. Right? If you follow the herd, trust me, you will run off a cliff. Don't you see where they're going? Don't you see? So do something different, right? Do something different. I love y'all very much. Let's get y'all up out of here. Yeah. So my Uncle Mike said, he said just don't let them borrow it, nephew, because it's not or jail. Oh no, you're not. No, it ain't like that. Like we ain't busting heads for it, but it's just like I'm coming to your front door. You know what I mean? Like it just is. It just is that type of way. No type of actual mortal threat to anybody's life, but it is an addressing. And people, you're right though. People don't deal with conflict well. So most people nowadays just avoid it. Like, oh, I'll just wait forever. I won't call you out on this, or I won't anything like that, because everybody wants to be validated and they want to get the approval of people, right? But being nice doesn't get you anywhere, right? Pull people's cards, right? Hold them accountable, right? And watch how many friends you keep around. Mike, you probably know. I'm sure you've lost plenty of friends in your journey, right? Your journey of self purification, your journey of fitness, your journey of health, your journey of starting your own business. You see these people, there are people that are jealous, right? It's love. Jealousy is just love and hate at the same time. So they love you, but they hate the fact that you've done something that they haven't done. Right? So they want to leech off of you and pull off of you in some kind of way without actually earning it. They want microwave success instead of getting it out of the mud, right? So if you ain't ready to get it out of the mud and you take a piece out of mine and I got it out of the mud, don't be surprised when I come over to you with being a little dirty because I've been out in the mud. You feel me? So I'm not saying that as a promotion of violence, but I am saying that I'm promoting
Hold people accountable.
pulling people's cards. And if it
Yeah.
goes to that, if it goes to any type of violence, don't let it come from you, right? But if it does go to violence, you make sure you handle that. And that's just how I get down, guys. That's just how I get down. If it goes to a type of violence, I'll never start it, but I will finish it, and I will finish it ultimately. If anybody fights me in the street, I'm trying to kill you. I ain't gonna lie to you because I could die out here. I'd rather be judged by 12 than buried by 6. You feel me? So that's all for that. But I love y'all so much. We got to get up out of here. Today is December 15th. Title is Again I Rise. Again I Rise. And our quote comes from Eric V. Kopich, who's a writer who said, I'd continue to teach my children what I've been taught, that they need not see a black become president or win the Indy 500 on television before they could do it in real life. And our affirmation for the day is I may have been conditioned, and I may have been conditioned to only jump so high, but I refuse to be held down any longer. I may have been conditioned to only jump so high, but I refuse to be held down any longer. Don't let anything, anyone, any predicament, any situation, any nation, any people, or yourself hold you down or hold you back. We may have been conditioned to only jump so high, but I'm asking you today to jump through that glass ceiling, whether you see it or not. Jump as high as you possibly can. If you hit your head, man, keep going. One day you will break through. That pain means that there's feeling there, right? That's another one of the quotes that we had. If there's pain, there's feeling there. From the I think the Olympic, I forget who was that person, Mom. If there's pain, there's feeling. There's the person that the physically challenged, the
Yeah, I
person with the
can't remember.
physically challenged,
I can't remember.
right? So there's feeling there. So keep hitting that. And if you don't get it, let your children see you jumping as high as you can so that they can break through it one day. All right. So that's all I have for y'all. Mom, anything else from you? If not, let's get y'all
No,
out of here.
y'all, we had some comments that we didn't get to today, so y'all go back and read them. I'm
Sure.
going to put some information out there of the things that I read about the leadership abilities and things like that. So I'll put 2 things out there for you to read. It's up to you. If you decide to read them, they may be part of your rising, right?
Yep.
Yeah, don't just come here, right? Take something back that will help you jump so
Right.
strong and hard that that ceiling just bursts wide open. That jar with that cap on it, you jump so much, you have so much strength and
Mm-hmm.
persistence about your goal until the cap comes off. That's how you should be pursuing your life.
Right. It was
Leading
put
it.
there by man, and it can be taken off and broken through by man.
Right, right. The
So,
leader decides to, how can I get this cap off? How can I take it off? What can I do? What do I have, right? That would make it go away, change the situation, right? So there you have
right.
it.
There you have it. Again, I rise. Again, we rise. Y'all go and like this video on Facebook and on YouTube. And on Facebook, please share. I saw a couple people share some of the posts that we put out last night. Y'all, please go back to my mother's page and share In This Season podcast and share Tammy's page and share. Go to the YouTube, like and subscribe to this channel. And we'll see you tomorrow at the same time, same place. Love you. Peace.
Come on, friend.
Which way? There you go.
Here we go. We got it. Y'all be great. We love y'all.
Love y'all. Stay safe.